Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 179. Please turn to it, page 179. Today is our lesson number 217. Problem number 189 is what we are about to do. Problem number 189. And this is page number 179. I'm going to rewrite it, I don't know why. We are told that 30% of the people passed an exam. And that would imply that 70% did not. Of the 70% who did not pass the exam, we are told that 12 people took some kind of a course to prepare for the exam. And we are told 30 people had no course. So far so good. The question simply is, how many total people are there? How many total people are there? Well, we are told that the 12 people right here, 12 people who took the course and the 30 people who did not take the course, we are told in the problem that it represents 70% of the population. So that's what it is. That's 70% of the population. We just have to solve for t. Nothing to it, no big deal. 12 plus 30 is 42, is 0.7t. Let's multiply both sides by 10 so that we can get rid of the 0.7. So that tells us that 7t equals 420, and therefore t would equal 420 divided by 7. 7 5 is 36, and one more 7 will make it 42. That means there are 6 sevens in 42. So that's 6, and then this 0 right here. So there are 60 people altogether, obviously. There are 60 people altogether. We know 10% of 60 is 6. If 10% of 60 is 6, 30% would make it 18. 30% would make it 18, which means that 60 minus 18, 60 minus 20 is 40. So this better add up to 42. 12 plus 30 is 42, you see. Let's do the next one, shall we? Number 190. Number 190. In 190 is a little bit tricky. Let me read the problem to you verbatim. Number 190. The word that we just used was, we'll come to this in a second. If you're a native speaker, this is not a big deal. These are pretty simple words, but if you're not, you may want to learn it. Number 190. What is the difference between the 6th and the 5th term of the sequence 2, 4, 7, so on and so forth, whose nth term we are told, whose nth term we are told equals n plus 2 raised to n minus 1. For example, the first term in this series, again we just simply follow the instructions to create our entry. This is the formula. We're going to follow this instruction, this formula. It will tell us what our first term is going to be in the sequence. So where n is, we're going to replace it with 1 because it's the first term. So n equals 1 plus 2 raised to 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, and we know that any number raised to 0 equals 1. Any number, it doesn't matter what the number is. 37 raised to 0 is 1, negative 37 raised to 0 is 1, 3/4 raised to 0 is 1, 4 million raised to 0 is 1. Any number, if you raise it to 0, it equals 1. This is something you must know by heart. You have to know it during the exam. There are some facts that you simply have to know. So 1 minus 1 is 0, which means we end up here with 1 plus 2 raised to 0. 2 raised to 0, we just said is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. Which is our first entry. They tell us the first entry is 2. The next entry, according to them, is 4. Let's see what we get here. The second entry, second term, would be, again, n equals 2 plus 2 raised to n minus 1. Let's erase the first entry so that we don't confuse the whole thing. The second entry would be n equals 2 plus 2 raised to 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's 2 plus 2 raised to 1. 2 plus 2 raised to 1, which is simply 2, so it's 2 plus 2 is 4, which is exactly what they tell us the second entry is. Let's find out the third entry. The third term, again n equals to 3 plus 2 raised to 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 raised to 2 is 4, so we end up here with 3 plus 4, which is 7. That's all. All we have to do is find the fifth term and the sixth term and take their difference. That's all there is. Let's find the fifth term. The fifth term would be n equals to 5 plus 2 raised to 5 minus 1, which is same as 5 plus 2 raised to 4. How much is 2 raised to 4? 2 raised to 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So this guy is 16, this guy is 16. So we end up with 5 plus 16, which is 21. This is our fifth term. Make a note of it here. Now let's find our sixth term, shall we? Our sixth term would be, again, n is equal to 6 plus 2 raised to 6 minus 1, which gives us 6 plus 2 raised to 5. 2 raised to 4 was 16, so 2 raised to 5 will be 32. 32 plus 6 is 38. 38, so we just take the difference between the two. So n6 minus n5 is simply 38 minus 21. 38 minus 21. 38 minus 20 would have been 28, 18. So it should be 19. No, it should not be 19. It won't be one more, it will be one less because it's subtracting 21. Let's do it again. 38 minus 20, 38 minus 10 is 28, another 10 would be 18, and we're not subtracting 20, we're subtracting 21, so it's 17. That's our answer. 17 is the answer, and that will be answer choice E. That's answer choice E, 190. Let's do one more, shall we? The next one. The next one. Let's say we're done with this one. I'll give you a chance to absorb it while I absorb some of my tea. Alright, next one. Number 191. In 191, they tell us that x minus 1 squared equals 400. Let's pretend that x minus 1 is y. So if somebody tells us that y squared equals 400, how much is y? Or let's do something simpler first. Let's start with something simpler first. If I were to tell you that a squared equals 25, how much is a? And if you're telling me that a is 5, you're not entirely wrong, but you're also not entirely right. That's only half the answer. A could be positive 5 or a could be negative 5. And this is how we write it. We would say that a equals either positive 5 or negative 5. This is how we write it. Because it doesn't matter if you have positive 5 squared equals 25, and so does the negative 5. Negative 5 squared also equals positive 25, because negative times negative is positive. And that's the part that they want to see here, if you remember. They're trying to see here, if you remember, the fact that this one has two roots. That's how we say it. It has two roots, a positive root and a negative root. Just like this guy has a positive root and a negative root. Same thing here. When the square of something equals 400, here y is either positive 20, because positive 20 times positive 20 is positive 400, or y could be negative 20, because negative 20 squared is also positive 400. That's what it is here. So here, what this tells us is that x minus 1 is equal to positive 20. Either x minus 1 is equal to positive 20, or x minus 1 is equal to negative 20. Obviously, we're not looking for we're not looking for a positive root, because they wouldn't ask you something silly as that, because everybody thinks of the positive root first. The second reason why they wouldn't be asking you here for the positive root is because I know for a fact that they're also looking for, the whole point of the problem is to see if you actually remember your negative roots, and the question is which of the following could be the value of x minus 5. And obviously they would not have positive also, because then there'll be two right answers, and you can't have two right answers. Which of the following could be the value of x minus 5, and they are trying to see in this problem, not trying to see, they are, the purpose of the problem is to see if you remember your negative roots. Because if you were to try positive root, then x would equal to 21, and therefore x minus 5 would be 21 minus 5, which is 16. And 16 is not one of the answer choices. It couldn't be, because otherwise that would qualify as the right answer. That could be the value of x minus 5. Another value that x minus 5 can have is this guy right here. If x minus y equals negative 21, then x must equal negative 20, or rather negative 20, then x must equal negative 20 plus 1, which is negative 19. In which case x minus 5 would be negative 19 and negative 5, which gives us negative 24. So if somebody were to ask you, if x minus 1 whole square equals 400, what could be the value of x minus 5? The answer is the value of x minus 5 could be positive 16 or negative 20, negative 24. Since positive 16 is not one of the answer choices, negative 24 is the right answer, which is answer choice C. They just, as I said already many times, they're just trying to see if you remember the fact that when you take a square root of something, you must remember your positive root and a negative root. You must remember your positive root and negative. A squared equals to 9, which means A could be positive 3 or negative 3. That's what they're trying to see here. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.